Welcome to the deep dive of the new map Courtyards. It arrived in the recent 1.1 patch and it is the front outside portion of the larger Castle Courtyards map. It is a small map, but it has a variety of effective strategies that we can use. I'm going to cover a few different topics in this video, so check the time codes on the screen and in the description if there's a specific thing you want to watch. Let's get started. There are three major sections to this map. First, we have the west side. On the upper floor, there is an elevated path that can take orcs from the middle section around past the sentinel and down a staircase to the lower floor, where there are quite a few pillars around the edge and a gate that will spawn additional enemies. There is also a covered area leading to the middle section near the rift. Next, we have the east side. The upper area consists of just a small balcony at the back holding a sentinel. The lower area has an enemy gate and a simple pattern of planter boxes that we can use to help route the orcs around. Again, there is a covered area leading to the middle section. Finally, we have the middle. On the upper floor, there is the main gate. Then there is a large double staircase down to the lower floor right next to the rift. There's not much room here for anti-air traps, so you'll want to watch the minimap closely to stop their quick trip to the rift. The plan for the first barricade setup is to group all enemies from all three gates into one big mass and send them through this little passage to the left, which will act as our kill box. So to accomplish that, we're going to need to bring the enemies from the eastern gate up this main staircase right in the middle. So let's start off doing that. The long diagonal wall of barricades, that's fine. And now that'll bring everyone from the east up here, and it'll also block off the north from just coming directly to the rift. Both of those gates will send their enemies around, as you can see, down the staircase and then through this kill box. Now with the last 5 barricades we have, which if we only started with 16, we'd only have 5 left, I'd probably maze them a little bit inside the kill box itself, just to try to keep them in this area longer so our traps can do more damage and be more efficient. If you have a few extra barricades, you can always just like do something like this to just make them go a little bit longer, or you could go out and around like this and make them go out a little bit further. At that point, you can maybe put Briar out here. That would be a great thing to just damage them a little bit as they come over. But for right now, we're going to just plan to do a kill box with just 16 barricades. So let me show you what that might look like. For this kill box, I decided to bring the Acid Geyser, the Ripsaw, and the Rift Barricades for my floor traps, the Sawblade Launcher and the Wall Charger for my wall traps, the Beehive, the Swinging Mace, and the Ice Lance for my ceiling traps. I have the Rift Barricades to just give myself a little bit of extra mazing as well as just buffing potential. So basically everything on the floor in here is buffed up, plus 50% damage. Gonna work very well. And I have a lot of saw blade launchers, both horizontal and vertically. So the horizontal ones will bounce around inside the kill box, while the vertical ones will bounce around along the long path, so dealing a lot of damage as the enemies come through. The plan for the second barricade setup is to have 2 separate kill boxes, one for solely the east gate and one for the north and west gate. To accomplish this, all we need to do is block off these stairs, and that's it. Now, you could block off in any number of ways. I like blocking off all the way down at the bottom because if an enemy somehow falls off, or an unstable rift appears, or it's raining and water elementals spawn, theoretically they should all spawn on that side of the barricade, and there won't be any issues there of anyone just, walking 3 steps down to your rift. With just those 6 barricades, we've already got the west and the north gate coming through here, and we can set up just like last time.
I'll redirect them to my traps.
And have a nice little maze in here. And we're basically good to go. Start throwing in traps just like last time. We will need to keep in mind that the east gate opens on wave 4. So by the time wave 4 rolls around, we'll need 6 more barricades so we can set up over here. Now maybe if you're playing solo, you'll just start with those 6 barricades. But if you don't have those barricades already, you'll either want to save up money so you can afford to put down a bunch of rift barricades, or you'll want to get some barricades from the threads in the meantime. But since I'm planning on just pretending that I have 16 barricades, I've already used 12 of them, so let's get started here with a actual kill box. If you saw the barricade 1 kill box, this should look strikingly familiar. It is in fact just about exactly the same, and it worked that time, so it should work this time. One issue with the first two barricade setups is that there wasn't a ton of room for expansion. Once you filled up your kill box with traps, any more traps you put down were fairly inefficient, and you could definitely see that in my setups. I would end up with a bunch of traps out here that were somewhat haphazardly placed down, just trying to do as much damage as possible to take pressure off of the kill box itself. And that was enough for mission 1, but as you get deeper into a run, let's say mission 5, mission 10, you need more plays for traps. So this is where the strategy comes into play, when you'll hopefully have more barricades at your disposal. The idea for this strategy is to route the enemies from the west and north gates back around behind the rift itself, through one lane over into the hedge area, and then back out through the other side of this final kill box. This gives us that kill box to use to at least weaken, if not outright kill, most of the enemies. Then weaken them some more with the first lane of this kill box. Then they'll go around the edge here, and we have this great ceiling spot. Ceiling and tight corridors, great for bounce traps. And then they come around here, and then back out through this gate. Now, of course, I don't have any money because I had to spend all of it on the rift barricades, because I'm actually on mission 1. If you were actually on mission, 5, 10, whatever, you should be able to just place regular barricades and then have all your money to actually put the traps down themselves. And this will work, mission 5, mission 10, all the way up. I'm doing a long run right now. I'm using it all the way on mission 45 on difficulty 10, and it's still great. Now on to chests. Working left to right across the map, the first one is on the patio above the staircase down. The second is on top of the wall dividing the west middle areas. The next two spots are in the lower middle section under the two staircases back up. Then there is one on the east section on the back platform where the sentinel spawns. Finally, a chest can be on the roof in the southeast corner of the map. Thank you for watching this deep dive video. If you know any information or strategies that you think I should have included, tell me in the comments. Also let me know which maps you'd like to see a video for next. Later, War Mages.
Unexpected, but dead nonetheless.